Square Enix, I'm legitimately impressed. You went where I didn't think you would go. This story is mad. Okay, Life is Strange, that's not the sort of game you think of when you think of money grubbing, right? I mean, there could be some pathetic Square Enix attempt, like what they did with Chocobo GP or the mobile Battle Royale Final Fantasy game, but no. Somehow, that it's not one of the usual suspects, that makes it worse. That they've revealed they'll be charging $30 more for the Ultimate Edition of the recently revealed Life is Strange Double Exposure. Now, of course, that's nothing new. What is new is, well, the delicious FOMO tactics, because we're not talking about 3 days early access, we're not talking about 5, it is, in fact, much worse. They absolutely want to eke as much money out of their fans as they can. Thankfully, we don't need to resort to things like that. We just have today's sponsor. So if you like our channel, you're probably into the whole critical thinking thing, and that's where today's sponsor, brilliant.org/Bellular News, is awesome. They've just relaunched a whole bunch of their content. Now, they are all about learning by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data science, and programming, and you can get 20% off an annual plan and a 30-day free trial by clicking my link. Now, Brilliant will hone your problem-solving skills. You will enjoy learning again, and it's time efficient, which I think is important. Active learning is proven to be 6 times more effective than lecture videos. That is 100% right, in my opinion and my experience. You know, as somebody who is stuck in lecture halls with 200 plus people, I can say it sucks, unlike Brilliant. Today, we're looking at thinking in code, where using their built-in drag-and-drop editor, you're building programs and developing fluency in essential programming concepts, all without having to get over initial setup hurdles. Then, you'll be applying those concepts by doing things like automating reminders, building a filter bot, and other neat little apps. So what they do is absolutely terrific. I think you should give them a try, or if there's maybe a younger mind around you, I think Brilliant would be a fantastic product to get them learning in a way that's more fun than regular school. Now, you can try all that for free today at brilliant.org/Bellular News, 30-day free trial there, and also that link gets you 20% off an annual subscription. Square Enix really have provided us all with so much entertainment over the years. I mean, my personal favorite, as somebody who loved Deus Ex, was the whole augment your pre-order thing that they tried to do with Mankind Divided. And I suppose that's the thing, right? Square Enix's Western franchises have been a little bit of a shit show. They've been mismanaged. They, of course, offloaded loads of their studios. And now they have, yes, managed to take one of their last remaining popular Western-developed franchises. They've targeted it directly at its core fan base, and then they've basically punched them all in the gut by, yes, hitting them with a $30 FOMO charge less than a day after the announcement. That's the fun bit. Yes, a day after the announcement, because, you know, you couldn't have any of that bad news getting in the way of the announcement. So, Life is Strange Double Exposure was shown off at the Xbox Showcase on Sunday, and it very much is a game looking to continue the series' tradition. Mystery, adventure game, supernatural powers, focus on puzzle, focus on narrative, and big picture, these are games that it's not just the people have liked them. They've quite resonated with a lot of people. I think there's just a slice of the gaming audience that resonated with those characters, resonated with, say, their struggles, some of the things that happen in those games, right? Absolutely beloved. And what's big here is it's the return of Max, who was the protagonist of the first game. So it's Max in a new setting, new characters, and taking powers directly from the pretty well-received sequel comics, all setting things in good stead. I mean, this should be brilliant. People should be excited. I mean, come on, it's a parallel timeline game with photography called Double Exposure. All right, you know, it's cute, it's cute. But okay, the monetization, that's where it gets really bad. So it's not ideal that there are 3 editions of a narrative game with a bonus side mission locked in the Ultimate Edition. The rest is just filled out with the regular kind of costume stuff. Again, the idea there of a bonus side mission in a narrative game like this, I see that as being core content. I mean, this is a discussion that we've been having since the Prothean DLC for Mass Effect 3. Remember the on-disc DLC? That was a fun one. But what Square Enix have done is they really have topped it, where if you pay an extra $30, right? $80 in total, you get the first 2 chapters of the game 2 weeks early. 2 weeks. Yeah, this isn't 3-day early access or 5-day early access, this is 2 weeks. That is absolutely horrible. You have to put this in context, so the original Life is Strange came out in episodes. That was very much all the rage back then with the likes of Life is Strange and the Telltale games. So here, it is a game that has got a full release. It's just that they've taken the full release game, they've taken the first 2 chapters and they are selling them for more money, like an early access upcharge, and they're just doing that for pure profit. Now, when you get into this and you start to think like a bit of an evil monetization person, it gets fun, because this isn't advanced access. If they did advanced access to the entire game, maybe by 3 or 5 days, then yeah, all over Twitter, Tumblr, wherever people talk about things these days, there would be full plot spoilers, right? So if it's the major plot beats, like the ending of the game, those will not be ruined by the early access. But Chapter 1, Chapter 2, I've got to imagine that narratively interesting, relevant things go on there that motivate the characters. Maybe there's some drama, right? Well, yeah, that's just going to be out in the wild for 2 weeks. And it's particularly disgusting for a game like this. This very much is some of the worst profiteering we have seen. I mean, I know you've got gacha games, you've got all of that stuff, but this just feels like such a violation because of the type of game that it is, and of course the 2 weeks is so damn egregious. It just sets an awful tone for a series that really is no stranger to challenging times. So it's time for a little bit of a history lesson. The original developer, Don't Nod Entertainment, they moved on after the second game in the franchise. They're now actually making their own spiritual successor to it. It's called Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Of course, Don't Nod made all this stuff with Square Enix. That means that Square Enix retained the IP. So Square Enix having the IP meant that the original game was then remade in a new engine, then it got a prequel called Before the Storm, and this was all from another narrative team at a company called Deck 9 Entertainment. Deck 9 then went on to make their own full sequel in the form of Life is Strange True Colors. They've done other projects as well, as an example, The Expanse game. So now they're coming back to this IP, and of course they're doing a game that is featuring Max as the main character. You're going back to the original protagonist. I mean, it's hard to read that as anything other than a push to regain the original audience. Now, to some people, this could be seen as a way to mine out some of that nostalgia and, well, just bring people back from the first game. Because remember, Life is Strange passed 23 million players last year across all platforms. It is absolutely massive, so if you can go and bring back the character of Max, you can probably go the distance. Now, for the fans, the reveal of Double Exposure was exciting. It was a return of the true protagonist. Of course, after Life is Strange 2 and True Colors had other characters and other plots. I suppose there would just be more of a pent-up hunger for this character. So, add to that the FOMO practices going on here, and it really does feel like Square Enix are just doing everything they can to monetize that franchise love. And the thing is, Square Enix are the ones with all of the power in this relationship. Now, the nostalgia mining accusations especially seemed possible considering a bombshell report about Deck 9 from IGN. It was essentially alleging a toxic workplace culture, but also a company struggling with its finances. Essentially, it seems they had several collapsed contracts, they had support work that fell through, and they also had layoffs. So that means that Deck 9, in all likelihood, are screwed without this. I've got to imagine that if this fails, if it fell through, they really wouldn't have any funding, especially given the current funding environment and the past trends with that company. So it very much looks like a situation where this game, by, being, I don't want to say safe, because they could obviously be doing like really narratively daring, interesting things. I'm not dissing on the game, but very much this is a conception of a new bit of Life is Strange that is pretty well targeted at reactivating old fans. That's fair enough. You add to that then the FOMO, and then you realize how much power Square Enix have got in this relationship because Deck 9 have been so embattled and probably have got to do, well, anything to keep the doors open. Well, you just have a situation like this one that absolutely sucks. It's needless, and it's disgusting. It's horrible. There's no other way to look at this, because it's not just FOMO in a loot shooter. The thing there is, you get to be a bit more used to character builds and guns before your friends, and look, your friends are playing Diablo, and you can't play yet, and you want to play with them, so you better buy now. Sure. Fine, that's just gaining a little bit of experience. But you see, when you're a narrative game like this and it's characters that people truly care about, that is a different kettle of fish, because now you are monetizing people's fear of spoiler risk. And I mean, I know to some people that might seem like a bit of a silly thing, but if, let's just say, this game hit you maybe when you were 15, a lot of the themes of the story resonated with you, you're going to give a shit about this. And that means you are going to be a bit afraid of spoilers sneaking into your timeline. You're going to feel uncomfortable that people have finished the thing and you haven't seen it yet, and you've got to pay more money to see it, which is also to sort of protect yourself, protect your own experience. I suppose that's the thing. All of these early access things, in one way or another, feel aggressive towards the player. This one just feels aggressive. I suppose it just feels more like a transgression on the art of it, and that's why I think it's disgusting. So, Square Enix, yeah, you should be ashamed. Fuck you. So yeah, that's it for the video. We did one on Destiny 2 yesterday, you can check that out, and we will be back very soon with a lot more, because there's a hell of a lot to talk about in the industry right now. Alright, hope you enjoyed, take care, I'll see you next time.